Hi everyone, I am out in the forest today and I am so excited to share this video with you today. I cannot believe that I've been sleeping on this for so long. So, context, for the longest time I thought my favourite blue in the whole world was ultramarine blue because I just love looking at it. It just makes me happy. And that's still true. That is still true as a colour. I love it. But what I'd never considered is that, do I love the mixes that it makes? And recently I've been going through a bit of a project of mixing all of my colours to figure out what I like best. And I think I can solidly say that I have shocked myself that I've been sleeping on this colour for so long for mixes. Like, it really mixes every tone of green and purple that I like best. So that's magical. Don't know if you can hear that plane overhead. It's really beautiful out here today. I'm enjoying what might be our last nice weekend of the year. So yeah, hope you enjoy today's video. Let me know your favourite blue for mixing in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you enjoy it. And I'll hand you over for the swatching. So welcome to the colour lab. Just kidding, just kidding. So the blue that I'm so excited to share with you these mixes today is, I'd insert a drum roll, but I think it would be too cheesy. Prussian blue, PB27. And just so you know how serious I am, this is my ultimate watercolor palette that I put together a couple of months ago. And this is Prussian blue, and this is where phthalo blue was in my old palette, phthalo blue red shade I had here. And I have actually literally replaced it with Prussian blue. But today I'm going to take it out of here so that we can mix it easily on the palette. And actually, I don't have all that many plans for this video. I think we're just going to freestyle it and see where the mood takes us. So, as I showed in a previous video, I've been doing these swatch sheets for all of my colours, and I don't know what possessed me to use Prussian blue, to prioritise Prussian blue, but I have been so amazed with all of these shades. They really mix. It mixes the perfect greens, the perfect violets, and also the perfect neutrals, which is really everything that I ever want from a blue. And so I was really so impressed with these, and I will share with you a few of my favourites today. We're going to freestyle it. But of course, first of all, I have to show you what it looks like. So I have here my Da Vinci Spin Synthetics #1 quill, as always, favourite of mine. And we can start by swatching this out. So I will address that there might be a little bit of an elephant in the room right now. Someone get me a manual focus camera for Christmas. But the elephant in the room is that a lot of people have an issue with Prussian blue because it's quite controversial in terms of its light fastness, but I am absolutely in love with, this is the Roman Schmoll version of Prussian blue. It's the only Prussian blue I own, but from the dot cards that I've tried before, I noticed that this version really seems to have such a nice depth to it. Like, it gets really deep in the mass tone, almost like an indigo. And then when it washes out, it's like definitely on the green side, but not like so green that you can't mix nice violets with it. It's more of like a denim. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? It's more like a denim in its in the wash. So I just think that this is a color that I've been missing out on for so long, and I'm so excited to play around with mixing some greens and violets and neutrals today. So one of the first colors I want to mix with it is green gold, so PY129, and I also have this in my main palette here. So this is a color which is like a very transparent, almost like a nickel azo yellow, but a little bit more on the green side. So you can see it here, how it looks. And when you mix it with the Prussian blue, you get such a lovely range of not too over the top greens. So it starts out with this really like almost spring green, I would say. Let's do circles today. Why not? And I'm not really a big spring green kind of person, but I really love this green. It's bright, but it's not so bright that you feel like it's overpowering everything else, and it feels fresh. Yeah, I think this is like such a beautiful lime green. So when you mix a little bit more of the Prussian blue into the mix, you get a really, really nice true green. I'm going to have to get a little bit more of this yellow. And I think that this is very close to what Denise Soden developed for Da Vinci, except I think she used PB60 and PY129, but I think that this is just such a beautiful true green, almost like a hooker's green kind of colour. And in fact, Roman Schmoll uses PB27 and Nickel Azo Yellow PY150 for their hooker's green. But I think that it's just as nice with the PY129, like a real grass green. But again, there's something about it that just feels quite natural to me. It doesn't feel like overstated in the same way that a lot of other bright greens can, like true greens. It feels like a summer tree leaf green. We're really here with the creative descriptions today. And then finally, if we add even more, let's see what we can get in terms of like a turquoise green. Who doesn't love a turquoise green? I'll try and get this nice and deep so that we can see exactly what's possible. Just add some more of this. Yellow pigments tend to be quite weak, and then this Prussian blue is so strong that you don't need much of it. This pan will last me a long time. But yeah, look at that. Oh, that's so nice. Like a foresty, sea green shadow colour. Oh, that's just beautiful. And I'm swatching this on, these swatches are on Clairefontaine Gold Line Aqua cold press paper, just cellulose paper. But I love it for swatches. Does the job. I really, yeah, you can see why I've been so amazed with this blue. Like, it really mixes everything I want in such a way that I've never seen any other blue do. So then up next, what happens if we mix Prussian blue with a red? Like, what if we try and get like a really nice shade of purple? So I don't know about you guys. I think I'm maybe a little bit on the edge. An edge case here. I'm not really much of a purple person. But one thing that I really, really do love is a nice plum colour, which is why I'm very excited for the new Roman Schmoll releases, by the way. I have seen people swatching them. I cannot get them yet because I do not want to pay customs from the UK. So I'm waiting, but I'm waiting very impatiently for those. Highly recommend you check out some swatching videos of the new Roman Schmoll releases this year, because I will be getting some, just the ones that I feel like. But they have the most beautiful violet that they've just released. But I found that mixing this Prussian blue with geranium red, PR242, so it's lovely warm red. I've dropped a bit of water in there. Oh, interesting, we'll leave it. Makes just the most lovely range of purple hues for me. So let's start out by just mixing a little bit of the Prussian blue in. So you get this nice, like, muted, I don't know, pink magenta. Have to let me know how you would describe this colour, because I think this is absolutely amazing. Like, it's just so nice and not overpowering and not intimidating. The phthalo blue that was in my palette before had been there for the whole time since I made the palette. I don't think I touched it the whole time because it was too much. Phthalo blue is a very intimidating colour to me. I much prefer to use things which are a little bit more controllable. My one exception is that the transparent turquoise from Roman Schmoll, which is a mixture of phthalo blue green shade and phthalo green, I find that that mixes so beautifully and also is just a really lovely colour by itself. So anyway, that ramble aside, continuing to add blue to this PR242. This is a very, very strong blue, so we'll have to get a little bit more red to achieve what we'd like. But I've been really enjoying this process of sort of interviewing all my colours and trying them all out to see what mixes they will make, and really have identified some very, very strong colours that I, hadn't really worked with that much before, hadn't really considered, that are now new favourites. So that's exciting, and I hope you guys enjoy watching this mixing on the palette, because I really do. It's like so therapeutic to me. So this is a lovely dusky mauve colour, I guess, like a more of a middle purple. It really feels like, so these feel like very vintagey pinks and purples to me. I'm hoping I can adjust the lighting well enough because, well, it's a sunny day today, but this kitchen doesn't get the sun until the afternoon, and I'm trying to film this in the morning. So yeah, a little bit difficult. So I've tried to adjust my lighting, but this is just such a nice deep purple. It goes really deep if you add a lot more pigment to it. And then let's see if we can just mix up a little bit more of a blue purple over here. A little bit more of this. Ah, yeah. It's almost a neutral colour, this sort of very deep purpley blue that you get if you just add the tiniest bit of the red to the blue. Almost like an indigo. I've been also on the hunt for my perfect indigo mixes. I don't own any pre-mixed indigo watercolours, I don't think. So I've been playing around to see if I can identify which mixes I might like the most before I purchase any. Because I think that the Roman Schmall one is Indanthrone Blue plus black. And it doesn't look that different to the Indanthrone Blue to me in a lot of swatches. But I really, really love this muted violet deep colour that would be really, really good for shadows. I really feel like these are very like vintage floral colours to me. And actually the final colour that I want to feature is a colour that I don't talk about very much. This is Roman Schmall's Ginger Red Rudy, or like Ginger Red, PR290, which is quite a unique pigment to Roman Schmall. And one thing that really struck me about the Prussian blue was how easy it was to mix smooth, even neutrals. Because one thing that I struggled with using other types of blue is getting that balance right with the blue and a brown color usually to get like a nice smooth gray of like a warm or a cool gray. Whereas with Prussian blue, I really found that this happened quite effortlessly. So let's see if I can replicate that today. And I'm going to use this color. I think it's really interesting because it's a granulating color, this red. But it's not like a bright red. It's just a really nice earthy orange. So I'll put a little bit of it here. You can see it's like very opaque and creamy. Really, really nice fox color. It's a color that I think of foxes when I see this color. So let's add a little bit of the blue and see where it takes us. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to replicate my results from before. That's part of the scientific process. So yeah, here you can see that we get like a really interesting warm grey brown. Just swatch this one out. Like an earthy clay colour, which I think would be really, really nice in landscapes. And I was quite impressed by the granulation that I've seen from this PR290. I think I'm experimenting with my earth tones. I think I might try and add some more earth tones to my palette. So there might be a video on choosing earth tones for my palette soon, because I think that especially going into autumn, I definitely feel like I'm craving that a little bit more. And we can see this crazy separation on the palette. Absolutely stunning. And if we add a little bit more of the blue, I'll try and get like a nice true grey. Probably gonna need a little bit more of the red. The Prussian blue is eating up my other colours. Incredible, incredible colour. So strong. But you can see how it just neutralises so nicely and goes straight into a nice grey. Oh yeah. I was just so stunned by this colour. Like a cloudy blue-grey. And I've found this with other earth tones as well, especially I believe it's the Iron Chrome Brown, PBR29, also made some really, really nice deep colours. And this is just such an interesting grey. I don't use neutrals all that much, but this is such a nice grey. And if we see the red granulating out of it, then I will be sure to highlight that to you later, because I think it's really such an interesting effect. And then we'll just mix the last of this blue in so we can see. I think that when you add the red to this to the Prussian blue, you really do get like a true denim blue jeans kind of colour. Like it's really, really nice neutral blue. Yeah. Like a genuine indigo. You know how like genuine indigo is kind of not actually that deep and also a little bit more on the green muted side. I also had great success mixing this with like earth yellows, like a yellow ochre, to make an actual convincing green, because I've always had trouble mixing blues with yellow ochre before. Like I always found that they just went very muddy to me. But the ones with yellow ochre and Prussian blue have been very, very interesting. So highly recommend to play around with Prussian blue. If the light fastness is not the be all end all to you, because I mean, I don't know how, you know, I'm sure people have done all of the adequate testing, but I don't currently sell my work very much, so I figure I should just use colours that make me happy. But these are some of the most beautiful mixes I have ever seen. And that's coming from me, who mixes colours all the time. So I'm going to label these up and then I'll come back and show you what they look like when they're dry. Okay, so I'm back. The paints have dried and I've labelled them up. So I put the Prussian blue at the top, of course, and then I've labelled on the left here the pigments that I mixed with it. If my camera will focus. There we go. And so you can see here really why I'm in love with these colours, and the granulation gods have smiled upon us for the PR290. You can see it a little bit in the middle one, and quite a lot here, like where the red pigment has settled into the paper. Such a beautiful combination. I really, really love these. You'll have to let me know in the comments, what's your favourite mixing blue and which of these is your favourite mix? And in addition to this, we are so close to hitting our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to click subscribe, if you're new here and you enjoy what you see, I have so much more content like this coming to you every week. And I'm so happy to share it with you. So if you want to join this little community we've got going, be so happy to have you on board. And also a small announcement, I've decided to start doing some shorts of me swatching all of my colours, just individual little videos so you can see what the colour is like. Putting a little bit of effort into those, so I would be really appreciate it if you could like show your support on those as well. That would be really, really good. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed looking at all of these colours with me, and I hope you had an excellent weekend, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye everyone.